It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
I'm not running over the Barnett Tower and heaving myself off.
And Leon Searcy.
Now, you come across that middle, you better have some meat on your bone.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Meat on their bones. That is one of the things that Liam Cohen will be focusing in on. Some pork chop guys that can block up front. Some pork chop guys that can knock people down inside defensively. We will take all of it, that's for sure. Welcome in to a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. The 2 o'clock hour is ours. We reserve it. We hang out for a couple of hours, and hopefully you will as well. Talk some Jaguar ball. We actually have spring ball that we need to get into. Here we are late January, but things are starting to cook on college campuses. We've got movement among the top coordinators in college football, so we'll talk all about it. Now, the coaching search is on. It's hot and heavy here, that's for sure. And so the latest and greatest possibilities as far as filling out the staff for Liam Cohen, we will definitely keep an eye on today. Senior Bowl, it's going on in Mobile, Alabama. So lots of Jaguar talk that we will throw at you today, and you guys are more than welcome to jump in and start to give us some of your thoughts, because they've actually cranked out some stuff on NFL Network, Leon, where they've got Charles Davis, Daniel Jeremiah, Rhett Lewis, our guys that we're used to seeing over there in Mobile, starting to break down some of these practices. You had an eye on some of the practices earlier. There have been there's some talented players there, number one. There have been some spirited practices in the first couple of days we've been able to see the scene.
Yeah, of course. I've been biased. I've been watching the Hurricanes and how they've been doing Arroyo. Sure. I've been watching Arroyo, and I've been watching, am I saying that right, JJ? Arroyo? Or is
Elijah Arroyo, yeah.
Okay, I thought you had to roll your
Did you
R's.
just roll there?
Yeah. So I was just...
Well, it's actually a J.
Oh, okay.
Well, it might be Arroyo.
Arroyo. Yeah, well, him and Xavier Restrepo, they've been playing well.
Should, I mean, your girl's Colombian. You should be able to do that.
I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but your girl is.
Yeah, she's
At
not
the very
here.
least, it's like through osmosis, right?
Yeah, but they've been having pretty good camps. They've been having the film that I've watched on that. They've been raving about both of them. So yeah, I mean, those are I've been Hurricane heavy as far as checking out the guys and how they're doing, and so far they're doing pretty good.
So we're going to start looking at the top prospects, obviously, that are coming out of the college football ranks. The guys that are leaving college early to turn pro. There's about 6 of them that are going to try, at the very least, to get drafted. Plenty of them are going to get drafted high. Others may not. But we'll be looking at all of them, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, the most important thing about that, the Senior Bowl, is the practices, because the kids they're going to be competing against each other. Yeah. You got the scouts out there, you got the execs out there, you got coaches out there, and they're taking notes. I was talking about this early on with the crossover. I was telling them when I went to the East-West Shrine game back in the day, right? I was ranked at the number three guard. I mean, the number 3 tackle with the number 1 guard. So they had me penciled in a guard to play in the pros. So I went to the East-West Shrine game and I followed the number 1 defensive end at that particular time, which was Robert Porcher, so I could go up against him. So the NFL teams could say, hey, this kid, although he's only 6'3.5", he can still play tackle. So, I mean, you're given those kind of opportunities.
Were you, like, jumping back, were you, like, counting how many guys until it's his turn? Like, what do you mean you're following?
I made sure that every time there was a rep, me and him went against each other. Yeah. It didn't matter. One-on-one.
You want no part of that
push somebody else out of the way.
I don't know that. Nah, if it just felt more comfortable at tackle, they didn't want to put me at guard. I mean, listen, I wouldn't have been afraid of the competition.
No, right.
Yeah, but I was more comfortable at tackle.
More money at tackle.
Absolutely. Too. So, yeah, me and Robert, I mean, we made some money that week.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. And it's so funny because I saw a couple guys a little dust up a couple times where they're trying to get that upper hand in the eyes of the scouts, and so they're not afraid now.
No, that game means nothing. It's the practices that are everything.
Yeah.
That's the individual drills, and the offense and defensive line is phenomenal. Yeah. Like, we all look at the corners and the receivers and the quarterbacks because it's fun to see it. You can actually see what you're, understand what you're watching. But man, the individual drills on the lines of scrimmage, they get nasty.
There was a Marshall kid today.
I mean, Gray Zabel's been killing it, the kid from North Dakota State, the guard.
Everybody was raving about him.
Yeah, he's probably a late first or early second pick.
Yeah.
Well, so, it depends on, who you are, who's picking for you, and what your philosophy is as far as do you pick guards high.
Jags picked twice in the first 3 dozen spots, so...
Yeah. And
Very
we
possible.
had they don't have, of course they don't have Oklahoma drill back then. Back then we had Oklahoma drill, so you can really you separate the men from the mice back then.
This is the closest.
So explain to everybody real quick who may not know what the Oklahoma drill is.
What Oklahoma drill is that they put these two cones and you
can't go outside the
you can't
cones.
go outside the cones. All right, it's man on man, offensive line versus defensive line. And you go at it for a good 10 seconds.
With a running back.
With a running back, yeah.
The whistle blows. The running back's got to get by, and the play doesn't stop until the coach blows the whistle.
Exactly, that part.
Yeah, and you got to be
end up with CCE.
And that's grown man versus grown man.
Men were men.
But the legendary Oklahoma drill around
This is close, actually. If you watch these individuals, if you go online on X and you watch, it's close. It's not.
Please look up Mike Green today.
Yeah, it's
from
not
Marshall,
actually
what he did to Josh Connerly from Oregon. That's as close as you'll get to the Oklahoma drill.
Yeah,
nowadays.
it's not in between cones like that, but you got very little space to move, and it's one-on-one, and guess what? You got to get
fast. And it's fast.
Yeah.
But the legendary Oklahoma drill here was Tyson Alualu ended up hurting his knee on one of the very first Oklahoma drills that he was tossed into when they went with full pads. It's legendary.
I also remember going up against a guy named Ephesians Bartley. Remember Ephesians Bartley?
Yeah,
he played safety, didn't he?
Linebacker. He was kind of like
he
this.
was a
He was
linebacker.
One of those very first hybrid guys.
Yeah,
Safety
he was.
grown into linebacker.
Yeah, well, I remember we were 907. I was playing left tackle. He was the linebacker, and he met the big Searcy, and unfortunately, he got ran over. I did a little shimmy on him after I ran him over, and then we all going into lunch to have lunch and everything. He walked up to me and said, "You made some money today, big Searcy."
It's the truth. It's the truth. All right, if you guys have been watching it, definitely hit the text line assigned by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. You can jump in the conversation there or in the YouTube chat as far as guys that you're looking at, because the head coach announced it. They have got to get better, more physical up front, both lines of scrimmage. There's no doubt about that. Golf Club of Southampton, they bring you today's show. We love bragging on them, and especially when you start to feel just a little warmth from that sunshine above. You may want to go out, hit a bucket of balls, take a look at the practice area. You, of course, can go out and play anytime. 287 play. You get the outerwear on instead of sweating it out like you normally do during the hot summer months. So call them, find out about their membership opportunity. You join for 12 months, pay that initiation fee. You get $500 back in the pro shop, $1,000 off. The membership opportunities are great right now at the Golf Club of Southampton. So check them out. All right, so I'm looking at a handful of these top prospects, and we're going to be looking at them. But let's at least start with the coaching search that's out there right now, just as far as where this team may go. And I'll at least start with this one thing that I was talking to you guys about earlier. When the Dallas Cowboys ultimately made their decision to stay basically inside the building and sign Brian Schottenheimer to their head coach position, he had never done it before. Well, they also kept one of their great personnel guys.
Their VP of player personnel.
Yeah, one of their great personnel guys. And we were just talking about him earlier. And, Matt, you could hit some of the high notes on it, but we're talking about a guy, William McClay, and Coach speaks very highly of him.
So he has overseen Cowboys scouting since 2014. And in that time, since 2014, 10 years. It's 11 years, actually. 15 Pro Bowlers, 6 All-Pro guys through the draft that he's drafted. This franchise, in its history, non-special teams All-Pro selections.
Wait a second. This is the special teams
are people too. They're people too, bro.
I know, but I'm just I'm eliminating them for a second, okay?
All right.
Because I can't remember the Cowboys. I can't remember
hay.
the Cowboys having any special teams guy that would have made All-Pro in the last 11 years. However, eliminating the special teams guy, this franchise has had 6 players All-Pro. So the same amount the Cowboys have had in the last 11 years.
Yeah, so less than half of the time that this team's been around.
1/3 of the time this team's been around.
1/3 roughly.
That's the kind of guy you need to hire as GM. That guy right there.
And the reason why he's just VP of player personnel is because both Jerry and Steven
right,
are GMs.
Yeah.
Okay. Jerry's got he can whip out a business card that says anything on it. Owner, stadium, proprietor, GM.
God.
Yeah, exactly. God, any of those. And then Steven's got the GM title as well. So
Steven's it's the old Warner Brothers cartoon where it's the big dog and the little dog's behind him going, yeah, that's Steven behind him.
Exactly. Hey, Spike.
Right.
You want to go chase one of those cats?
Right.
Come on, Spike. Let's go right now. Come on. But Will McClay.
Will McClay is the backbone of their draft process.
A highly respected guy in the personnel department. And right now you are relying on what is kind of a little bit of a makeshift operation into the Senior Bowl, onto the NFL Combine. They're going to have to make a decision. Ethan Waugh is still right now at the controls, as I like to describe it. But he's right now, I'm guessing, giving as much information to Liam Cohen as he can. And then they're saying, you know what, let's game plan for this. Let's start talking about X. Let's start looking at these candidates when it comes to the high priority index that we've got on this football team. And that's all they can do right now.
Right. And I realize that the head coach and the GM have to be able to work together, and they got to know each other, and it's got to be the right fit, and they got to be aligned. I get all of that. But, man, if I'm Liam Cohen and I see this dude's track record in the last 11 years, man, and I know this franchise's history in the last 30 years, I'm thinking, all right, the reality is the best way to win the NFL is you can build it organically. If you can draft and develop and build it organically. And you got to have somebody who knows what he's doing in the draft. I don't know how Shad or whoever's running that process of hiring the GM does not go, what are we doing? Yeah. Let's at least bring Will McClay in and ask him, are you interested?
Yeah, I don't
Tell
know
us your process.
Yeah, his contract was coming up, I think, at the draft. I'm pretty sure is when it was expiring.
But I'm pretty sure, in fact, I know it is. If you go for a title that's above your current title, you can leave your contract.
But the only thing is that he was probably GM level. He just wasn't named GM. And I don't
know, man. That GM level is GM. It's not vice president of player personnel.
But that's why GM. That's why I made that point.
Right.
It's because there's two Joneses with business cards that say GM on it.
Right.
I don't think he can have a third one that says GM on it. But anyway, we don't know that they didn't ask. But at the same time, he's a guy that is so entrenched and embedded in Dallas that, I'm not going to say unattainable, because I think they had looked at him once before and it did not work out. But they were going to make sure he was a priority not to leave. I just want to know who they are looking at, the types of individuals that they may be talking to, an assistant GM, a director of pro personnel or player personnel, any of those guys. Yeah, find the qualified one and see if you can bring him in. Now, they're talking about bringing in coaches, so let's get into that coming up here in just a second. The coordinator level, who are they talking to? Who are guys that we think they might be interested in, and guys that you would love to see them come in and help fill out Liam Cohen's staff? We'll get into all that coming up on a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. It's XL Primetime.
We begin with Ed Werder.
Hi, I'm Ed Werder from ESPN.
And nobody knows that team better than our Ed Werder. He joins us from headquarters
on 1010 XL.
Rev up your life with luxury at Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard. Right now, used car prices are 12% lower than their peak in April of 2022, making this the perfect time to drive home in a dream car. Specializing in luxury used vehicles, offering you elegance at prices that are finally coming back down to earth. See special listings in the newspaper every Saturday or online at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Here for MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it, and we're now set for the final stretch of the road to New Orleans. MyBookie is the one book that has your back. No fluff, no second guessing, just straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we have you covered too. Step 1, use our promo code 1010XL. That'll double your bankroll with a 50% deposit bonus straight from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The big game prop bets are going to be plentiful. Take a hard look at player props and those wacky big game props you select each year from MyBookie. Stack that with MyBookie's Risk-Free Thursdays. Why wait? That's right there, a new risk-free odds boost each and every Thursday. To find the bet, click the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now and get your 50% bonus with MyBookie, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. The road to New Orleans is here for the big game. Bet anything, anytime, and from anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards. And it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Are the company's Zoom calls getting boring? Might be a good time to order some new logo caps or temporary tattoos. Check them out online at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Good teachers and coaches get the most out of their scholar athletes. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesdays on The Franchi Show.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to and should be yours. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Pacifico is brewed for those who let go of the things that don't matter and hold on to the ones that do. That's living life. Anchors up.
Pacifico, found in Baja, imported by surfers. Ask for a Pacifico when you're ready to live life anchors up.
Pacifico is a crisp golden lager, brewed for those who know. It's what's behind a label that matters.
Hi, I'm Jared Simmons, Executive Director of Walk Off Charities. Thanks to the players for supporting our mission to provide every child the opportunity to learn and play baseball. It's 41 days until the Players' Championship.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
The Electric Light Orchestra Experience featuring Evil Woman, the American ELO. A concert celebration featuring the music of Electric Light Orchestra. It's February 5th at Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So you're trying to figure out who's going to be in the building now that Trent is out of the building and Liam Cohen is putting his staff together. Well, at the very least, this is a guy that I was hearing about last week and liked what I heard, and now inside the division, others are taking a look at him. Houston Texans, with their offensive coordinator search, they're looking at Nick Caley of the Rams, and he's expected to be one of the next to be interviewed. They interviewed Thad Lewis, former Duke Blue Devil, Tampa Bay assistant, for their offensive coordinator job, and now Nick Caley. And Caley comes in with decent credentials. What has Liam Cohen done? He's already looked back to his Rams ties, and he has guys on both sides of the ball, defensive passing game coordinator. This is his tight ends coach and a passing game coordinator on the offensive side that should be looked at, might be looked at, because they will come in with the same kind of theories and ideas, and at least maybe the way the coaching staff was formed. I don't have any problem with getting guys that you like, that you know, that you trust, but man, they got to be able to get the job done.
Well, his obstacle is going to be whoever he brings in is not calling plays. So that's going to be a problem because most guys want to call plays. They want control of the offense. Whoever he brings in is going to not only have to work with him, but it's going to have him over his shoulder all the time when he's making out game plans. Hey, I want to do this, this, and this. All right, let's do that, that, and that. Then you got to move your game plan around what your coach wants. And then when game day rolls around, he's calling the plays.
Yeah.
Now, you have input. You can say, hey, I think this will work here or that'll work here. We saw this on tape. That might work here. But at the end of the day, he's making play calls.
Yeah, ideally what you want is something that looks like what Sean McVay is in L.A. He is the head coach and play caller.
Right, and he had Liam as his OC, but Liam was wasn't calling plays. Liam was just, hey, let's do this.
That's what I'm saying. Ideally, that's what you want. And then the same thing with Andy Reid and Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy was not a successful head coach. Things didn't go well for him in Chicago. Next thing you know, he pops back up in Kansas City, post Eric Bieniemy exiting, and he's still in charge of developing the game plan, putting all the things together, maybe putting stuff in his ear, and then the ultimate play caller is going to make the call.
Yeah, I mean, you want like minds around you. I guess that's what he wants, people that he's familiar with. I was a little concerned about that, as long as they qualify. I mean, of course, these guys have these conversations of, hey, listen, if I ever get me a gig, I'm going to bring you along or whatever. But he's underneath the Sean McVay tree, and you saw the success that they have, with the Rams. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, long as he said in the presser he's going to be the one calling the plays, but, you want people there that's going to watch the film with you, is going to script the plays with you, and schematically put stuff together so that you on Sundays you do your best.
He's also, and by the way, Nagy calls plays. So Andy just like chips in and says,
Andy Reid's
let's try this.
Yeah, he's still.
But Nagy's the play caller. Nagy is the play caller.
Yeah.
But Andy's just. It's not like it's going to be here. I guess is my point. And here's another thing too is Liam Cohen is going to be working almost probably exclusively with Trevor. Like it may not say QB coach next to him, and he may hire a QB coach, but he will be with Trevor a lot. That's the key to everything.
Yeah, I'm okay with any of that, just as long as whatever you bake out of Trevor, and this is now the fourth voice that he will hear calling plays in his head. Is that right? Because you go back to Bevel.
Well, there were two the first year.
Yeah, well,
right?
Bevel. Well,
but didn't Shoddy too at one point? Once Bevel became the interim head?
I thought, you may be right. I thought Bevel was still calling the plays when he was the interim, but either way, you're now going into your
Plus, you got Herb on the headset. He was calling plays too.
Fourth year. Well, that's the same thing I was talking about with Andy Reid. Exact same thing.
So that's 3 his first year.
Yeah.
Second year, he had 2, right?
Yeah.
Safe to say.
Yeah.
Third year, he had 2.
Choose who you believe, but yeah.
Fourth year, 2.
Yeah, it'll be a brand new whomever it is. And so, it's not an easy situation or setup that he's had to deal with.
Oh, I mean, you just said that he's going to be spending a whole lot of time. He's not treading on deadly waters. I mean, didn't Doug? The impression that we got from Doug was that he was this quarterback whisperer, and then we didn't hear a lot from Trevor.
But I'm not sure whatever Doug was teaching was working, and maybe it was this worked before. Why isn't it working now? So I'm not sure that's what the case is. I'm just saying.
You sound like the parent that blames the teacher. And not
and I know you guys always say that I'm protecting Trevor. I get it. I understand all that, okay? Yeah. All I'm saying is, like, you can tell when head coaches are close to quarterbacks. Like the video with Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold, how they're talking in between plays. You can tell those dudes work together all the time during the week.
I really wish I knew it was going right, and then it just seemed to go in the opposite direction. I'm not going to say all wrong, but pretty close to it.
I mean, at the end of 22, it was literally he was
remember this
top 10, 12 in the league at that point.
And it was Mike McCoy who was a great sounding board.
Right.
It was obviously Press and Doug. Jim Bob Cooter before he left. They were all
the reality is it went downhill when Jim Bob left.
Listen, either Arden Key or Jim Bob built the Buckman. One of them. I'm not sure.
It absolutely did. Whether it's coincidence or not, it did.
When Cooter cut town, it was totally different. And so since then, it's just been a little sideways. And McCoy's still here.
It's always sideways when Cooter cuts down, man. Always.
I know. And so I want to have that voice that not only comes up with the things that Trevor does well on the football field, but also pushes him in the direction that he needs to grow, not just grow.
Yeah, well, he needs to be challenged. If you're a great player, you want to be coached hard.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You
yeah,
do.
I agree with that. There's no doubt I want him coached hard. Yeah.
If you're a great player, if you want to ascend to greatness, you want to be coached hard. So, I mean, I hope he's not here to coddle Trevor. I hope he's here to.
It doesn't seem like he is.
No, I hope he is. I hope he gives some true serum.
Mm-hmm.
And then through the process, we get the quarterback that we thought we were going to get when we drafted him number 1 overall. Yeah, that's what
right. I mean, and hard coaching, and Leon can speak to this too. Is hard coaching is also can be just as simple as, no, it's a 7-step out. You don't take 6.5 steps.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take 7.5 steps. And you take 7, and the ball will be on time. It'll be right there.
Yeah,
that's hard coaching too.
Yeah, wide receiver coaches want to be in their guys' ear saying you got to do this, or you're not going to be the recipient of big plays because you're going to mess up a big play if you don't do it right.
Yeah, hard coaching is you can't dip your shoulder when you turn, stuff like that. It's all mechanics and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that.
By the way, from yesterday to today, Liam Cohen is a better coach. Let's sit at that just one more time since we were on the subject a minute ago.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So Liam Cohen does walk in to Duval as a Pro Bowl, as a coach that coached a Pro Bowl quarterback, as Baker Mayfield is now part of the Pro Bowl roster. Now, we were talking about the rosters earlier.
Now, that's a deserving quarterback.
Yeah, because Drake May and Baker Mayfield were a couple of add-ons to the Pro Bowl roster, which was more deserving because Jaden Daniels was up there. He was the darling of really the everybody's eyes this year. Sam Darnold, with the season he had to start, he was playing very good football when the Pro Bowl voting was taken.
Stafford might have been a couple years ago, actually.
And then he might have been. I'm just saying this year, like right now.
Right.
He walks in as coaching up a Pro Bowler. And then Jared Goff was also a Pro Bowler. So those were 3 really, really good seasons. And then Baker gets added. But you're looking at, what was the total number of Pro Bowlers?
16 Pro Bowlers.
16. For the total.
6 All-Pro.
Yeah, 6 All-Pro. So one of those main goals is turn Brian Thomas Jr. into an All-Pro. Get Trevor to the Pro Bowl, not a backup. Get him
16 in 11 years. Think about in the last 11 years, how many guys from this franchise have gone to the Pro Bowl as a starter or an alternate?
Yeah,
in the last 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not that many. Josh Allen has made it. Not that many.
DJ Chark did 1 year as an alternate. Remember?
As an alternate.
Didn't Trevor?
Trevor
did as an alternate.
Yeah. I mean,
they're a few and far between. All right, real quick. I just want to ask this one question because
by the way, Calais, he's not drafted, right? They're guys that you have to draft too, and I get it.
He comes in and quickly becomes the defensive player of the year. So
AJ Boy wasn't drafted.
Yeah, at the very least,
they drafted Jalen. They just didn't keep him.
Yeah,
couldn't.
Yeah. You can make the reservation. You just
can't hold the reservation.
You can't hold it.
It's XL Primetime. I got a Senior Bowl question from one of our Primetimers asking about Gray Zabel, Mike Green out of Senior Bowl practices, so we'll get some thoughts on that. Walter Nolan has been said to be tearing it up, so we'll hit a couple of those, and then a couple more of these coaching candidates on both sides of the ball as Liam Cohen is trying to put his staff together. It's a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Search, and JJ, thanks for hanging out with us.
Join the great adventure.
Come on.
The Drill.
Jaguars Today.
XL Primetime. The Franchi Show.
Rick Ballou.
Packer After Dark on 1010XL.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Cancer Center with on-site imaging, including whole body MRI, PET and CT scans, and mammography. Early detection is key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Integrity, persistence, and standing up for victims. It's what you want in a personal injury case and what my friend and lawyer Glenn Cohen brings to every case for over 40 years. Call Glenn at Barnes & Cohen.
Hey, this is Bert Gannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Cannonball!
Someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 29, 1936, the first players were elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, Christy Mathewson, and Walter Johnson.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Hey, are you ready to welcome our new head coach, Leon Cohen, to the bank? Join us this Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Gallagher Club West and be among the first to hear directly from Coach Cohen. Enjoy a live panel with Coach Cohen, appearances from Jaguars legend Tony Vaselli, The Roar, Jackson DeVille, and the D-Line. Tickets are free, but space is limited. Secure your tickets by going to jaguars.com/Coach Cohen today.
Is your dog Team Rough or Team Fluff? It's officially Puppy Bowl season at Dogtopia Jacksonville Beach Boulevard. They're getting MVPs, most valuable pups, ready for the big game. Your dog deserves a tail-wagging day of fun, and Dogtopia's indoor playrooms are the perfect training ground for their game day moment. Get your dog in on all the action by visiting Dogtopia Jacksonville Beach Boulevard and St. John's Bluff. New to the pack? Enjoy a free day of daycare. Mention Puppy Bowl when booking to claim the offer.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, we got plenty of time to make this decision, but we can at least throw some thoughts out there right now because we got prime timers that are hitting the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures or in the YouTube chat. You can do it either way, 641-1010, or head to YouTube and search XL Primetime. You can go back and watch any of the shows that you missed. We love that, and that way you can catch up with everything. But, Leon, I'm going to throw one at you. Who do you consider the best offensive lineman in the draft, and is he worthy of a top 5 pick? And then we'll get to those other guys we were just mentioning.
Ooh. Well, Will Campbell and what's his name? Calvin Banks from Texas.
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah, Banks. Those are the two best
right now that you like it.
Absolutely.
And I think we'll see over the rest of this practice
Calvin Banks.
And then into the combine. I don't even know if I would be paying a ton of attention to pro day offensive line workouts. Would you?
No, not tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, not tackles. I mean, the guys we're going to probably be looking at is, probably be second, third round guys as far as guards go.
Yeah.
So I mean, but if there's a guy that that gets hot at the combine or the whatever, would you move up to go get him if he's that good at guard?
Right. It depends.
Yeah, it depends.
And especially, like I said, you got 2 in the first 3 dozen picks, basically.
Yeah.
In the NFL draft. So you better make sure. Then the 2 guys I threw at you earlier.
Get one. Just get Tyler Booker. He's 6'5", 330. Just draft him. Put him at guard and just forget about it. He'll be there. He's
Fifth
just
pick?
a big dude. Not the 5th pick.
Okay.
No.
I was just
No.
making sure you were.
No,
All right.
no, but I mean, he'll be around the 2nd round.
Yeah, that's what I just said. You really can do something at the very top of that second round.
Excuse me, if you want to do that, like if you want to draft a big guy like Wyatt Millen from West Virginia, you stick him at guard till he's ready to play tackle. You do that, right? That's what they did with.
That's what they did. Well, they did that with Ogden,
Ogden, right?
Jonathan Ogden.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, Tony Banks was still playing left tackle. And you drafted him to replace him.
Right. We should always point it out. That was a Hall of Famer.
That was
okay?
true facts.
So not everybody can do that, okay?
Not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
No?
All right. Who are the other guys that we mentioned? Green and Zabel.
I mean, Mike Green was just – but he's an edge guy from Marshall. But there's like 18 different like angles of what's going on at the Senior Bowl. He just blew up some guy at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
He looks good. He's in rush edge, but he's an edge guy, but he's not a big, long, and lanky rush edge guy. He's a little bit shorter than you think edge guy.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that gets it, obviously.
Yeah.
You saw what he looked
Yeah,
at.
I saw it. It was hard to defend the offensive line. He got destroyed. He did. His base was wide. He tried to jump set him, and that kid came off the ball and hit right in his chest.
All right, so how about this? Just maybe you could explain this a little bit, because in fairness to any of these guys, there is no film study or tape study that's going on any of the individuals that they're going to face in this setting, right? You wouldn't think. They might go the extra mile and say, hey, agent or trainer, show me some tape on these guys I'm going to see. But my point is that you studied the guys you were going to face. These guys.
No, I didn't. I didn't study them.
I'm talking about in game settings.
In game settings, but listen, here's the thing. That's the reason why I can't give that kid a pass is because he probably played against lesser opponents.
Okay.
And got away with it. He just had an opportunity. He probably played. Well, he played at Oregon, right? So he's an Oregon kid. He played against quality guys. So it was inexcusable for him to set the way he said and get blown up the way he got blown up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can't give him a pass on that.
Yeah,
I'm usually an offensive lineman sympathist, but not this time.
I was just curious because this is the raw laboratory that you're testing all sorts of things and you don't know what's coming at you. And if you shine in that setting.
That's what scouts want.
He's skyrocketing right now.
That's what
Green.
scouts
I can
want.
guarantee that. It's not just that one play. It's you look on if you do a search for him, just Google him at the Senior Bowl. There's 10, 11, 12 plays that people have him where he's crushing people. He's like 6'3", 6'3 and a half. He's 245 pounds. He's not the biggest guy, but man, he looks like a dude possessed
honestly,
right now.
That's what you want to find savages. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to find. Like we said, pork chop players that are just savages. They're mean. They're nasty. They got that attitude. And they in hand-to-hand combat, in whatever accolade you want to give them, they can stand up in the middle of that offensive line and hold their own.
Yeah. But the worst thing that tackle did was he took that punishment and asked for reset. I'm for real.
Yeah.
Coaches look at that kind of stuff. But if you saw what that kid did to him when he blew him up.
He should have stubbed said reset.
He should have said, man, hey, get your behind one. Let's go again. Yeah, but he didn't do that. So they writing all kind of stuff, man. I'm just telling you, those little tidbits right there, the coaching staff, and they're watching it. He just got blown up and embarrassed in one-on-ones with everybody around and turned around and ducked his head and went back to the
Can
back
you
of the
do that, though, in those situations? Can you say, hey, let's go?
Yes, absolutely you can.
I know you
can. You tell the coach, man, hey, look, hey, why
that's not me.
Yeah, while you up there prancing and dancing, line up again. Let's go.
Yeah,
the coaches
honestly. Yeah, but what if you didn't want that? What if he didn't want that smoke?
That's what tells me he didn't want it.
Yeah, you want to find it out, right?
Yeah, you really don't want him to do it twice in a row.
No,
if you ask for it and it happens again, then what?
But then you just go.
You're just an undrafted free agent.
Just book a flight
get
home
on the flight right now because it's not happening.
Yeah,
for you, right?
it's right.
They're only going to give you so many opportunities too. Because what's worse, if they ask you to do it again or get him out of here. Yeah, that's worse.
Right, because in the next rotation, it may not be him you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Who are the coaches at the Senior Bowl? Are they NFL guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's usually the two staffs that are the Isn't it the runner-ups in the championship?
Yeah,
game
generally that's what they go with is the runner-ups in both AFC and NFC, and then I believe they will have other coaches that they insert, but that's generally those staffs that get to come in and work and run the show, and then you have all these other obvious staffs from other teams, coaches, personnel, evaluators that are all there on the sidelines. Heck, there was one. I think this was last night. I think it was on NFL Network, and it was with CD and Jeremiah and Rhett, and they go down there and they interview Jason Taylor.
Right.
And as Jason Taylor, who, Leon, you can appreciate this, but Jason Taylor, as he's being interviewed, his iPhone is up. He is videotaping because he knows there's only so many reps that these guys are going to do. He's like, I'll talk to you, but I'm working, and he's videotaping the whole time.
Yeah, he needs to be doing that. I think the whole Miami staff was out there. I think I saw Mario at the Senior Bowl and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. They want to make sure their guys, get an opportunity and perform well in the practices because that's where you're going to get drafted. The game, a lot. I don't even think the scouts even stay for the game. They come for the practices, get all their notes and all the information they need in the practices, and then they're out of there.
Jason was also probably like videoing his son. Like, isn't his son?
You know what? He was talking about his son, so I wouldn't doubt if he was doing that as well. But I guess my point.
I don't know if he's there. He's only a junior. Although they're taking juniors now. So
he was talking about one of his sons because they definitely have not Matt Nagy, but Jim Nagy, who heads up the Reese Senior Bowl. He's like a long time ago they said we got us a junior NFL eligible problem. We can't keep calling it the Senior Bowl without saying, hey, it's seniors and draft eligible players.
His son is at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, so and so
would Jim Nagy be a GM possibility, by the way?
I don't think so.
I want to say he might have been in the cycle.
He's like he's a pro personnel director type of guy. I don't think he's a GM type guy.
Yeah, but he is a really good
at what he does.
Evaluator of talent. And that's really what has souped up the Senior Bowl. To get his eyes on these players and inviting them and then showing these guys that not only become mid-round picks, they become high second-round picks, late first-round picks that show up.
And that's an art. I mean, that's an art to be able to go all those different positions, to be able to equate those guys. And if they're because I can look at offensive linemen and tell you if the guys got the goods or not, because that was my craft. So I know what to look for as far as feet, techniques, hands, and all that. But you have to be equipped to every aspect of linebackers, safeties, corners, linemen, guards, running backs, and all that kind of stuff, man. That's a tedious task. And then to evaluate all that information, and then the organization is relying on your expertise to who you need to draft.
He's also a quality dude, like a quality.
Somebody on the text line said the Jets interviewed him.
For the GM job?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Good for him.
This go around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, he's a well-respected cat. I didn't realize that he was still in the funnel in terms of getting interest, but
high quality dude.
100% knows what he's looking at, knows the type, and he'll set up a plan where these guys come in here, you do X, X, and X. You will be seen doing, all these different things. This is how you need to prepare yourself for that next level. And so he's been a huge asset for the Senior Bowl, and no doubt about it. All right, so
maybe someone was mixing him up with Matt Nagy, who was interviewed for the head coaching position by the Jets.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because
totally different guys.
Yeah, Nagy is back, I guess, in the funnel a little bit in terms of his success. He was not successful in Chicago as the head coach. We know that. And then he comes back, and it's almost like the car wash of sorts that used to take place at Alabama with Nick Saban or players that would come up and go to New England under Bill Belichick. Careers would be revived. And Matt Nagy.
No, it was Jim Nagy. He did interview for the Jets spot in December.
Yeah?
Yeah, for the Jets GM job.
Yeah, and it had been open a while, and they didn't need to ask permission for him because they could just go and seek him out separate. He wasn't with any team in particular.
Who pays you if you're like the guy who runs the Senior Bowl?
I think the clubs do.
And how much do you get paid?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure the clubs run that whole thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a resource for everybody.
Yeah.
And
makes sense.
And they've gone and they gotten the sponsorship with Reese's behind it and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, he's just really has done an excellent job. That's for sure. All right, so here's another one from Linwood off the text line 641-1010. If you guys want to hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, Linwood asking, who do you think the Jags will target in free agency and with the 5th pick? And, we spent a little time talking about the 5th pick here with the handful of guys that we're looking at. And the 5th pick right now, generally speaking, is this football team may not be looking in the tackle department. And so that's why I wouldn't necessarily say 5th pick overall needs to be an offensive lineman, because I'm just not there with those interior guys yet.
No.
But you can start to talk about a lot of other key positions.
Kai Beckham, the right guard from Philly. He's a free agent.
Okay, in the free agents. And he's a guy that we just said.
I have Hacker going through my head right now. You're talking dirty to me, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Well,
he's a mauler.
Yeah,
You're talking dirty to me, and I kind of like
and
it.
he saved his career from going from tackle to moving into guard.
Better believe it.
And was humble enough to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, and so those are the guys that have been able to step up and say, you know what?
That can't be easy, Joe.
No.
Leon, that cannot be easy from you. You are a top 5 pick as a tackle, left tackle, and you, how many years? 5 years in? 4 years in? Where you say, yeah, it ain't working. I got to play guard.
Well, has it been that long?
Yeah, I bet it has.
Yeah,
I bet it has.
Okay, because he was a bust, and there were a lot of problems up in New York with that line. That wasn't just him; it was a bunch of other guys too. But yeah, all right, that's not a bad one. And then when you start looking at the 5th pick overall, you have a number of different things that you need to do.
Mason.
Yeah, I know you like him inside, defensive lineman, interior guy from Michigan. And a lot of people are saying this. He's got every you love what you're.
I absolutely love what I'm saying.
What about his short arms? You worried about his short arms?
I am not worried about short arms. I am absolutely not worried about short arms. Listen, when I watched that game against Ohio State, I said in the last game of the season, I said I would take those two now.
Right.
The 2 defensive tackles. It was Graham, and who's the other one? Who's the other D tackle who should be a late first round pick? I can't. Me and Coach Campbell.
Last year was it?
I'm talking about this year. No, I'm talking about this year. This past year.
2 years ago was Jackson.
No. It was Graham and somebody else. Can't remember his name. I remember it.
All right. Yeah, we'll check him out, look him up. But Travis Hunter is definitely going to be talked about a bunch. He may be gone, maybe off the board by the time you get to number 5. But this team needs to look at a cornerback and a guy that can do some things opposite Brian Thomas Jr. I'm not saying that they should go all in for that, but that will definitely be a target. They have not fixed their secondary. They hurt their secondary this past go around.
So Travis Hunter, where you going to start him? You going to start him at where would you start
I would put him on the defensive side to go up against the best receivers that this team is seeing on a regular basis. They need someone who can do more things defensively against number ones. Like I can't.
Wait a minute, we paid the guy for that.
I know. I was going to say, I can't tell you how many times I saw Tyson Campbell around the play but didn't make the play. He was on top of whoever that defender was but did not make the play. And so both sides, if you had – anyway, I would
He's
play
not
him –
getting 5 anyway.
I would play him cornerback
first
and then let him be a wide receiver.
I would play wide receiver and then let him play nickel.
I just can't imagine how many plays he –
I'm with you. I think it's very tantalizing to play him at receiver because he's just so – I mean, his 50-50 ball skill is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So and he's got that explosion too, man. But at the end of the day, if you're the Jags are fortunate enough to somehow that he falls to them, man, you are desperate for a corner right now for the Jags.
Yeah,
desperate for a shutdown corner.
And there's so like if you add up the total number of snaps that you would like to see him play ideally, you can see a scenario where he could play just a boatload of cover corner snaps and then walk over
play
to
like
the offense.
6-8 snaps in the offensive game. Yeah.
And be that
where you stick him in the slot and then all of a sudden he's on a safety or a linebacker and it's a wild mismatch.
Yeah, and the dude played 100 and some plays. I don't know what the average was, but roughly over 100 and some plays in college. Every game.
You got to bulk up.
He's
got to bulk up.
Yes, he does. Yes,
he doesn't bulk up. He's not playing 100 plays in the NFL.
Because it's one thing. It's one thing to take punishment, and we'll use Sauce Gardner as an example because Sauce is slight as well. It's one thing to play 60, 70 plays and take that punishment and have to try and deliver the hit, which is what Sauce needed to do and was not able to do it enough, and then have to walk over to the other side and then take the punishment. That would be kind of hard. You are right about that.
Plus, plus at the NFL, it's you've got to be very physical at the jam. You've got to be very physical, and In college football, you can get away with that because 1 out of every 6 guys are going to be physical with you.
Right.
In the NFL, every flipping guy you cover is coming at you.
Yeah, it's an excellent point because whatever we think we see in college, and he is good on a college. He's great on a college football field.
Yeah, elite.
But at that point of attack, when that receiver needs to get off of that jam, they struggle with it. Rookie wide receivers struggle with getting off that jam. And then, like you said, if you have a guy that isn't as physical or as big as you'd like him to be, it's going to be tough.
And then you're going to tell him for 6 or 8 plays of every game, hey, I want you to go get in the slot and run a little drag over the middle.
Yeah.
And, watch out for that linebacker.
And get ready to get blown up.
Yeah.
Well, don't they formationally and trips, they can find ways to keep you off from getting jammed if they want to.
Right, but at some point, if you're the number 1 shutdown corner, which you would think he's going to be.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about at wide receiver. I'm talking about if he's playing wide receiver.
In the slot, you mean?
Formational.
Yeah. But he's still going to get hit. You know that.
Yeah, I know he's going to get hit. Yeah.
He's not the biggest guy, man.
No, he is not
the biggest guy.
You better learn how to get down quick.
So we'll take a look at those. The top prospects coming up here in just a bit. We'll be spending a bunch of time on this, as you all will as well, getting ready to see where this team's going to go. Into the 3 o'clock hour, thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. Don't forget, they've got membership opportunities. You want to talk about a 12-month membership, you're going to get $1,000 off your initiation fee. You get a $500 credit in the pro shop. You can just enjoy the member privileges, play, and make sure you get your tee time. So call 287-PLAY and look into the membership opportunities. You can log on to their Facebook or their page on X and check out everything they got going on at the Golf Club of Southampton.
1010XL's Dan Hicken dominated Folio Weekly's Best of 2024. Best TV sports anchor, Dan Hicken. Best radio sports anchor, Dan Hicken. Best radio sports show starring Dan Hicken. 1010XL, the home of Dan Hicken. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, often no appraisals. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. Get the money you need for anything at 904-999-1508 or just go to LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Do the Garber Wiggle, Garber Wiggle, 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 Garber Wiggle.
Garber Auto Mall is home of the lifetime warranty. Every new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Ford comes with a lifetime warranty. At Garber Auto Mall, your purchase is covered for life. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Garber Wiggle, Garber Wiggle, 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 Garber Wiggle.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we got to bring my thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
It's a winter wonderland of big wins at Best Bet Jacksonville with our Winter Open Poker Tournament taking place now through February 2nd. Don't miss the action. Join us for your share of the ice-cold cash. With 8 series events and $500,000 in guarantees, the action is on, with satellites taking place daily into the championship main event. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details, and we'll see you at the Winter Open. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Yo, E.T. here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else do you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar, Twin Peaks. Scratch kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge. Come on, somebody.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When you're injured, you probably have more questions than answers, and all you really want is to feel better. This is Joe C., and I certainly can identify. Well, thanks to Rebound Rehab, I bounced back from a serious case of ankle tendonitis to feel pain-free. And they can do the same for you. 8 locations across the First Coast and a team of physical therapists ready to help. From laser and radio pressure wave therapy to aquatic and massage therapy, they can offer real solutions to help you rebound. Log on, reboundrehab.com, and start your path back to pain-free life.
Instead of wasting money on resolutions you won't keep, why not invest in something that lasts? Like fixing that dripping faucet, clearing that clogged drain, or finally tuning up your AC. Call Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. We'll help you keep your home in shape this year. It's the one resolution you won't regret breaking. Call 904-862-6769 to schedule service today. Because when you're stuck, call the Duck. Right now, get $50 off any service of $150 or more.
It all begins with Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health, February 12th through 16th. The Daytona 500 is sold out, but you can still win a 4-pack of tickets to all the other Speed Weeks races. What anniversary of the Great American Race does 2025 mark? Text the anniversary number to 641-1010. What anniversary of the Great American Race does 2025 mark? Text the answer to 641-1010 for a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to Speed Weeks races.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
I'm Max Fink, here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Liam Cohen has been receiving lots of criticism from the national media throughout the process of his hiring, between the way he left Tampa going back and forth and some of the things he said at his introductory press conference. The fact of the matter is that first impressions, good or bad, mean nothing. Winning football games is the only judgment that matters, and Rich Eisen spoke on that on yesterday's episode of his show.
The guy wins football games and turns Trevor Lawrence around. Guess what? We're not remembering any of this stuff. Honestly, there has been no more awkward introduction than Jonathan Gannon in Arizona. Nobody's talking about pew pew. Like he's got a full control of that team. They have bought in. They love him. He loves them. And the Cardinals are pleased.
It's 70 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temperature brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Fans come from. We do want to fill our stadium up with our guys. I know that we have a good draw for people from out of town. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Well, that was Pete Carroll when he was being introduced as the Las Vegas Raiders' next head coach, which led Marshawn Lynch to show up and yell out Raiders. And Pete Carroll had to calm down, Marsh, calm down. And then he saw him afterwards. And as old as Pete Carroll is, he still has that infectious personality. Players still want to show up and support him. And I don't think too many people would have handicapped the head coaching vacancy race, I don't know, late December when they knew that it wasn't going to work out for Antonio Pierce, that they would have had Pete Carroll plugged in. So listen to these numbers. And this was courtesy of Adam Schefter as he was putting it out as far as the age range and just how much things have changed. Paul Brown, as winning as he was as a head coach, this was the age of when he finished and coached his final game. Paul Brown, 67 years and 3 months. Don Shula, winningest coach of all time, 65 years and 7 months. Tom Landry, 64 years of age. Chuck Noll, 59 years, 11 months. Bill Walsh, 57 and a half years old. Vince Lombardi, 56 and a half years old. Curly Lambeau, 55 and a half years old. John Madden, not yet 43 when he wrapped up his coaching career. When Pete Carroll coaches his first game as a Raiders head coach, 73 years, 11 months. He'll be a month from turning 74. This guy here in Jacksonville, you basically nearly half of his age.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And so just think about that. And so Pete Carroll, the careers of coaches last way longer now than they did then. Just think about when these guys were stepping away. Shula had won that many games, 347 games, and he walked away before turning 66 years of age. It's just nuts. And so now you can, if you can kickstart a career early, you can stick around for a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, most of these coaches that coach as long as like Pete Carroll, they're routine guys. I mean, you're talking about, because I know my schedule's from 6 to 6. So these guys getting there at 3 and from 3 to 10. So, I mean, what was he going to do? I mean, because routinely, their bodies like clocks. They get up, they go to work, they watch the film, they work out, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because initially I thought that he was just going to resign and take an office job with the Seattle Seahawks. The next thing you know, I see him at the presser for the Raiders.
Yeah.
It's
something else.
Speaking of the Raiders, think about that. I mean, no, you mentioned it, but it's Madden's last season, he was 42.
Yeah. He had not yet turned 43.
Cohen will be 39 this season. As this season plays out, he will turn 39, right?
Yeah, and so he's yet to turn 40. And if you're good, you can really, like Sean McVay. If Sean McVay keeps going, who knows what he's capable of in terms of how many times he's gotten his team to the postseason, how many games he's won, winning Super Bowls.
What is he, like 42,
all
43?
that type of stuff. When he first started, I want to say, I thought he was 32, 33, something crazy like that. Because
he's 39.
So that's right. He was 32 then when he first came in. It's just nuts what he was able to do.
He's got 30 years ahead of him if he wants it.
Yeah, if he chooses to do it. They'll probably burnt out and he'll be like Jimmy Johnson was smart in one respect, Leon. He said, when I'm done, I'm done. I'm going to get on that, what does he call his boat? I think 3 rings.
Yeah, something like that in Key West.
Yep.
Yeah, he lives.
Well, listen, McVay was already rumored to be going to TV like
a
year ago.
Yeah. And they would have paid him like $25 million, money they're paying Tom Brady right now.
Which is crazy because I've never been like, you know what I need right now? Sean McVay in front of me on TV. Not saying he wouldn't be good, but it's just like, is he worth $25 million?
Well, let me just at least throw this
whatever
out.
the market's going to pay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Let me at least throw this out because this is at the very Tom Brady, I believe, at some point should be asked, how is it that he gets to have a broadcast color commentary job where he gets paid millions upon millions of dollars and be a minority owner in the Las Vegas Raiders? I don't get it. I don't know how that's allowed.
Tom Brady, that's how.
It is. That's the main reason. But however much he makes and however much they would have paid Sean McVay, did you guys see how many people tuned into Kansas City, Buffalo? 55 million.
I think he wasn't doing that game.
That was the number, was 55?
It might have been north of 55 million.
Wow.
It's just a stunning number. Yeah. And
love-hate relation. There's a lot of people that were rooting against him.
They were rooting against the Chiefs.
Yes, and I was in the spot where 90% of the crowd was rooting against the Chiefs.
Yeah, like we all, college football is like crazy popular. It's more than it's ever been. It's not even close, right? It's the number 2 sport right now. 23 million watch the college football.
And
national
when you say crazy popular, it still was the 3rd lowest national championship game.
I know it was, but my point
in terms of viewership,
it's
which
more than
surprised
double.
me.
The NFL more than doubles in a conference championship.
Yeah, they dwarf them. Yeah, it's just insane with what they.
JJ, what is a Premier League? Like a Premier, like when they get to the Final Four in the Premier League, what do
they
they
don't have that. They don't have playoffs.
Right, it's just a champion, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what? Like,
there's like the Champions League.
What do they typically get though?
Or we could look. I know the World Cup final dwarfs the Super Bowl.
Yeah, obviously.
But that's only every 4 years.
Yeah, and it's
hard to tell because the Champions League final, which is what you would probably say is like the Super Bowl of soccer every year. It's broadcast in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of countries around the world. So I don't even know how you'd find the number.
Yeah, it's like our PGA Tour broadcast, PGA Tour studios, where it's sent out to the world, like the Players Championship, as an example. The Players, everyone thinks, wow, this is really cool. We have it in our backyard. Well, this is one of the most visible tournaments in the world. 750 million people will see that on all those different channels.
Okay, so this is from Google. The Champions League final generally averages around 400 million viewers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's the Super Bowl annual basis is watched by an estimated 200 countries worldwide.
Think about this. The Masters last year, Sunday Masters, 9.5 million.
Oh yeah. It's 55
and in our country,
million.
it's like, the Masters.
Yeah, but and over 4 days, it wouldn't add up to 55.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And so it is insane how hungry we are. And then going back to that college football playoff real quick, it did. I thought it was a hugely disappointing number.
Yeah,
and
for the two properties that were in it, definitely.
And for the first 12-team playoff that everybody's been hyping for years.
And do you know the date of the?
You know
next?
what that is too, by the way.
What?
That's no SEC team in
I was just thinking that. Oh yeah,
could be that. It could also be, hey, maybe scarcity is actually a thing, guys.
Yeah,
maybe.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
But maybe.
JJ.
I'm willing to hear you say it. Doesn't mean I agree with you, but I'm willing to hear you say it.
Well,
thank you for allowing me to say that.
And do you know when the national championship game is going to be played next year?
25th.
It's going to be in Miami.
Yeah, which would have been
25th.
Which would have been four days ago.
That's not cool.
Okay,
it's not college football.
No, it's an NFL sport. It is the NFL now. It's the mini NFL.
I still soak it up. I don't know whether I would have been more into it if I thought. Well, actually, I would have been. I would have been more into it if I thought one team had a better chance.
Wait till you see
with the other team.
They're going to get rid of spring practice too. That's coming.
Yeah,
and then it'll just be like the NFL. They'll have like organized workouts, and they'll start camp just like the NFL. They'll start in July.
All right, let's make this the 10-10 take and just finish up this thought here real quick.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since 68.
Now, I'm just going to use this comparison because Sonny's, they know how to smoke it, okay? They smoke it slow. They got that all-you-can-eat rib special for less than $20 right now, and they get that heat going just right. Well, Sonny's, you can count on a great meal, lunch, dinner, tailgate, party, whatever it might be. Check out any one of your Sonny's. But are we going to just trot out these college athletes in July and let them play in 140-degree temperatures on the field just so we can end the season on New Year's Day and pack in 16 games the way they're wanting to do that? What in the world? And so that
they're sharing revenue now, starting July 1.
Well, yeah. So let's just go ahead and expose them to heat stroke. We got Dr. George Bari coming up here in just a second. He'll explain that. But seriously, they want to be just like the NFL.
Yeah.
And then they tried to get on the NFL schedule, and they were playing that big weekend, that huge championship weekend where the playoffs were beginning, and then they were crowning the national championship. Yeah. And they got butt beat by the big boy, which is what every other sport has to deal with. They should be stoked that they got $23 million on a Monday night. But I just don't understand the idea that they want to back it up and start training camp, just like you just mentioned, Matt.
But that's
just
a rarity.
Like the NFL.
Going this long is the rarity. That's the outlier. It'll typically be around the 18th or 19th or 20th.
Well, it's still the 1 week difference. Yeah. And what happens when they expand it to 16 teams, which is happening?
Well, then it's going to get to the end of January.
And you know what they want to try and do? Play it this coming weekend.
When there's no football.
Exactly.
Their championship game,
Yeah, that's what they want to try and do. But I don't know whether that's going to work or not. As much as I love college football and dig it, they want to back up week 0 to where would you want to start playing college football, Leon, in early August?
Listen, if I survive Miami, it don't matter.
I couldn't imagine a game being hotter than that Miami-Florida game.
I agree. It's hot. I agree. But at the end of the day, it's the argument of these are amateurs now doesn't hold in weight anymore.
No, I get that.
They're making a lot of money now.
And they have that many more games to make money off of, even though they may not have gotten the number that they wanted, the viewership in the title game.
they still got that many more games that they can put eyeballs on.
Let me tell you something. If the ACC's idea of their Final Four to hold a Final Four to determine their champion, if it goes through, which it won't because there's no way the presidents will do that. That's just Jim Phillips floating something out there. Those kids would play if they did all those games and went all the way through the playoff and played in the championship game. They'd play 18 games. 18.
Yeah, that's nuts. Which would be what Roger Goodell will have in place. With the NFL
it's two less than
next
what
season.
It's two less than what the most an NFL team can play if they get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Right now, a wild card team would have to play
20.
Yeah,
right.
20.
Yeah.
Think about that, and college players. So it's minus 2 games, but minus a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
Ton.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, they are souping up the numbers for these college kids that are going into the NFL. This shocked me just a little bit. Dylan Gabriel, who's at the Senior Bowl, and this is from NFL Rookie Watch, reportedly had the, quote, best day out of any quarterback in attendance at the Senior Bowl. Gabriel reportedly threw a ball that reached 74.9 miles per hour.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
Me neither. Which is
it
the
beat
fastest
the record, yeah.
Which is the fastest
By a
thrown
long
ball
way, it's the record.
in pre-draft testing ever. And then they said, I love it, NFL Rookie Watch put it out there, for reference.
Baker, I think, was
Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, and Joe Milton, who we know could throw it through a brick wall.
Right.
Every Volunteer fan said that to me. They all recorded their fastest speeds at just 62 miles per hour.
Something was off with the...
Something's way up because Dylan Gabriel doesn't have a strong arm.
I was about to say, when you watch him, it doesn't seem like anything.
He does not have that kind of arm.
Yeah.
In fact, when we were there, Leon, it was Baker Mayfield. He had set the record. It was like something crazy.
Maybe they're juicing
At
the
that
guns.
point, it was like 52.
I think they're juicing. All right, it is XL Primetime Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. We got our ortho man, Gio, coming in just a second. We'll talk injuries. We'll get back to the coaching search now that Liam Cohen is in. They're going to have a big celebration tomorrow night at the bank. In 1010XL 925 FM will be there as part of the party.
She's homegrown.
Your father's listening to the radio.
She's Jacksonville's sweetheart.
Oh, it's a little cheesy, but...
And she's one of the boys.
Just behave, okay?
She's Lauren Brooks. Noon to 2 on 1010XL.
To get this thing unwrapped here. Duval! Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval? That's right, man. I really identify with Duval. You live in St. John's County, knucklehead. I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up. The boss. Because, of course, oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me. That's just not true. What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss." Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you. Go find yours. They may even make you a boss. I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash. Where more is better. And you got that right.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. New year, new you. How many times have you heard that? We all set goals when the year begins, and more times than not, it revolves around the way you look. So if you're ready to get serious about being the best you, it's time to get serious about Awaken 180 weight loss. It's time to get serious about losing weight the right way and getting into the best shape of your life safely. No guesswork, no trial and error, no medication side effects. I'm proof I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110, and you can lose it too. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is, Awaken 180 will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. Reach your goals with Awaken 180 weight loss and become the new you. Trust me, it was simple. The word you never hear used with weight loss programs unless you're referring to Awaken 180. Choose the simple, clear path to success with the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
Roll with Hard Rock Bet for Big Game 59 because we're rolling out over $5.9 million in bonus bets. The big game kicks off Sunday in New Orleans, but get your share of Big Easy bonus bets now so you can place more bets on us instead of using your own cash. It's the big game rollout, $5.9 million in promos only on Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
The Electric Light Orchestra Experience featuring Evil Woman, the American ELO. A concert celebration featuring the music of the Electric Light Orchestra. It's February 5th at Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it. They do it, whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Find out what new golf equipment could help your game.
Well, I'm just a humble golf pro. Could I help you?
Get great golf tips and talk from the experts on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Got to figure out why I'm still shaking the ball.
Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
Gio walks in to the 1010XL studios, ready to repair any injury concern that you may have, verbally speaking, of course. But if you have one, 641-1010, you can hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. He does it in real fashion, either earlier today or once he leaves here. Gio, how you doing, man?
Good, man.
You doing great?
Yeah.
We got Bari Orthopedics all here locally. Locations across the First Coast that you could check out if you have aches, pains, knee, hip, wrist, whatever it might be. Definitely check out Bari Orthopedics. Gio, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. So I had a question that was shot to us, Gio, from Breaking Bones Sunday morning. Hey, guys, what's the latest on a couple of Gators hurt last season? Trey and Trayon, both coming back from injury. So let's just hit the maybe more of the predictable one first. Running back Trayon Webb repaired a fractured tibia. So he had a broken leg towards the end of the season and was out. Dangers, concerns, or no real concern coming back from that?
I mean, they healed pretty well. They didn't say exactly what part of the tibia, but I'm assuming he had a what we call IM rod or nail down the shaft of the tibia. And usually you're looking at 5-6 months to go back and do what you want at that point. So, but it does well because it's not a joint, as long as he didn't break the joint. Right. So if it's just a mid shaft, and he should be doing okay as long as it's aligned all right. You shouldn't see many issues from it.
Yeah, and Trayon Webb is the guy we had on XL Primetime last year, was trying to ascend into that bigger role, and it was just a bummer for him towards the end of the season to have that, come back and be able to take the reins and be.
Well,
one
he got passed by a couple freshmen too.
Yeah,
That's
Baugh,
the big problem.
Yeah, raced right
Jackson,
past
both of them. Yeah, so that's
true.
I'm actually. I mean, you hate to say this, but it's the reality of college football now. I'm actually shocked he stayed there.
Yeah,
this year that he was coming back for next year because he's probably number 3 in the rotation right now.
Well, that's a good point. All right, the other guy that was asked about, Trey Wilson, he had knee surgery early in the season, which I believe was a cleanup of a meniscus. But the bottom line was, Gio, at the end he had surgery on his hip. It was described as a congenital issue and uncovered later over the course of the season in the hip area. So what are we looking at?
I mean, that's a good question. I would think it's probably what we call a pincer lesion, which is some would consider it maybe congenital, and that's where the roof of the hip, so we call the acetabulum, which is the socket. It can kind of come out almost like a beak, like a where the hip rotates, where the ball almost like a beak. We call it a pincer, and it can cause impingement where you move your hip and it hits that portion of it and it causes some pain. So they go in there and they kind of debride it. They can shave it down sometimes. So I would assume that's what they're talking about.
Okay. And when you're talking about that from an athletic point of view, what are you
just
dealing
hurt?
with?
So if you get in a certain position, you feel like there's a block, like your hip can't move more than because there's just a physical bony impingement preventing it from moving more.
I mean, how often do you see that in guys that young?
I mean, you can see it if it's you're born with it, right? Congenital, you're born with it, then you can have some hip pain and maybe you don't notice it until it gets to the point where it really just bothers you.
So it's only a matter of time for it. If you're born with it, it's only a matter of time.
It could. I mean, some people do fine with it, but eventually also what it does is it keeps hitting the same spot. It can cause some labrum tear. You can have some labrum tearing with it. A lot of times that's how people notice it. They'll have some hip pain. They get an MRI of the hip.
Isn't it like that's the Bo Jackson injury, right?
No, Bo Jackson was a dislocation.
But he didn't have that. He didn't have.
No, he dislocated.
Congenital?
I don't know if he fractured it too, but he completely dislocated his hip and then ended up dying and needed a hip replacement.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
So there's no like you're. That's it. You can't fix that basically.
The pincer?
Yeah.
You can go in there. A lot of times you get what we call a cam lesion too, where the bone, the ball portion gets more rounded out, and so that can be shaved down. So there are some things you can go in there and do. I think he did a surgery, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah,
so
had to have surgery
you can't try to
repair
shave
the
it
hip.
down.
Yeah.
What's the recovery process on a surgery?
Well,
like
it depends. I mean, if you go in there and you're just doing a shave down of the bone, nothing bad. But if you go in there and you have a labrum tear, which a lot of them do, then you're looking at 5-6 months after the repair.
Right,
so it's two different things.
In a perfect world, he's ready by August.
Yeah.
when the camp starts. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you reminded me of one, and I'll probably bring it up next week. But Harris English had to have the labrum repaired in his hip and was able to come back and finally won on the PGA Tour again. But that was pretty significant for him. But I'll look up the details of that one. All right, 641-1010. You got a question to throw Doc's way, you can hit us on the text line. This one, Doc, any suggestions besides surgery for a shoulder that's basically bone on bone? Was told a procedure, couldn't guarantee success.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, the end result is if you're bone on bone, the only thing that's really going to fix it is a surgery. We cannot grow your cartilage back. That's not going to happen. You can do things to mitigate pain, pain, cortisone shots, PRP shots, stem cell, but that's all literally just a Band-Aid. It's only going to, if it does work, it's only going to last so long. So it really depends how bad it bothers you. If you're like, hey, this kind of hurts me, not that big of a deal, you can try a cortisone or a PRP and stem cell and see how long it could push you. But if you're miserable and you can't live life and you're dying of pain, you got to do a shoulder replacement. Now, not guaranteeing success. I mean, we say that to all the patients.
Yeah.
Because nothing is 100%. You can't guarantee that someone's going to be 100% after surgery. But these surgeries do very well. Obviously, there's risks of complications that can happen, but overall, the surgeries do well.
So the idea of the shark cartilage, is that real?
So it's the I don't know the shark. I know the chicken cartilage, right? The chicken comb.
Right.
I eat all the chicken cartilage.
The hyaluronic acid.
No doubt you do.
Yeah, I do.
That we inject.
I have no fear.
Do they work?
So I mean, if you look at the studies, it's hit or miss.
You put it in there,
and the study shows really not much better than cortisone. Now there are some patients who will swear by them, and some patients who say they don't work, and that which matches the studies say it's kind of hit or miss. And it's no better or worse than cortisone in efficacy.
Right.
PRP beats both of them.
Yeah,
and
way
how well
more
it works.
effective. Yeah.
But you could try hyaluronic acid. A lot of insurances don't cover them because the studies are kind of iffy and it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd rather you just get a cortisone shot if they're going to, give you something that's kind of just a temporary thing.
You've heard the shark cartilage supplement that there's a lot of people that are in on it.
Knee and shoulder, man.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
all you hear about.
All right, real quick, because they're pouring in on the text line because they know you're a shoulder man. Dr. Gio, I've had labrum surgery twice on the same shoulder. What is it? Whether it's cold or raining, that shoulder is throbbing or tender during that time?
I would assume that you probably have some arthritis.
Okay.
Also.
Okay.
But once you've had 2 shoulder issues or 2 labrum tears that have required surgery, most patients will have some sort of arthritis in that joint.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having multiple meniscus surgeries. Most patients, after having 2 meniscal surgeries or arthroscopies in the knee, have some sort of arthritis going on. So that's what my assumption would be.
Yeah, it's funny. We had Brian on Breaking Bones from Rebound Rehab the other day, and he said people coming into Rebound Rehab more from the rain with the arthritis flaring up a little bit, which is just nuts. All right, so if you guys have any more questions, you can hit 641-1010, and we will get them on Breaking Bones Sunday morning at 7:30. And you can go see Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics. Locations all over the city. They can find our podcast, too.
Apple, Google, Spotify, 1010XL.
All right, you the man. We
All
will
right,
talk
guys.
to you later. Leon, you have to give us your mock draft right now before we get to we got a couple more things we got to do, but you've already done. You're going to start doing this weekly.
Yeah, I'm
correct?
start doing it weekly.
Leon's mock.
My mock draft. All right, here we go.
Trent Searcy.
Yeah, this is. Oh, I love that.
Please don't do that.
Leon Bulky.
All right.
Leon
At
Balky.
5, Mason Graham. At 36, Mason Graham, D-tackle, Michigan. 36, Wyatt Milliam.
West Virginia.
Offensive guard, West Virginia. Number 70, Tate Ratledge, offensive guard, Georgia.
To back
Yes.
guard.
We need to go
Yes.
back to that one guy.
Guard.
I love a guy from West Virginia named Wyatt.
Wyatt, yes.
Back
I do
guard,
too.
Virginia.
I
At
love the guard, man.
Yes, at 88, Cam Scatterboo,
Yes!
running back, Arizona State.
All right, so hang on. Before you get any further, what do you do with DTN?
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
Scatterboo will run him over.
It's been nice.
right.
It's been fun.
All right.
Keep on trucking.
Hasn't been
real
that fun.
All right. 106, Sebastian Castro, safety, Iowa.
What a name.
125, Jared Ivey, edge, Ole Miss.
Big
143,
edge, too.
Jamarie Caldwell, defensive tackle, Oregon. 184, Jack Nelson, offensive tackle, Wisconsin. Big
Nice.
guy.
Good choice.
And number 223, you got to love this guy's first name, Thor Griffin,
Jesus.
D-tackle, Louisville.
I do think that Leon
went for the name.
It's a lot of big bodies. A lot of big bodies in that
Yeah,
draft.
I love it. All right, we'll react to that coming up here in just a second because those were definitely some good ones. And just Leon Balky, being that he is Leon Balky,
right.
he did not trade up. He used all that draft capital. All right, we will talk about that coming up on the Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday.
The NBA is on 1010XL.
The Orlando Magic head to Portland for an evening matchup against the Trailblazers. Tomorrow night at 9:30 on 1010 AM.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Happy New Year from Big Chief Tire. Frank Frangie here. Start 2025 off right by keeping your car running smoothly. Whether you're traveling for work or heading out on a weekend getaway, their expert technicians will ensure your vehicle is in top shape. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule maintenance, repairs, or tire service. With Big Chief Tire's trusted care, you'll tackle every journey ahead with peace of mind. Start the year strong. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it, and now we're set for the final stretch on the road to New Orleans. MyBookie is the one book that's got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, just straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet?
MyBookie pays you back, and if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step up, use our promo code 1010XL, and that'll double your bankroll with a 50% deposit bonus right from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The big game prop bets are going to be plentiful, so take a hard look at player props and the wacky big game props you see each year from MyBookie. Stack that with MyBookie's risk-free Thursdays, so why wait? There's a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. Sign up now and get your 50% bonus with MyBookie, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. The road to New Orleans is here for the big game. Bet anything, anytime, from anywhere with MyBookie.
Before the Great American Race on Sunday, the high banks of Daytona heat up with a Saturday night showdown in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Experience the intense competition up close on the sport's biggest stage to kick off the 2025 season. The NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona International Speedway, Saturday, February 15th. Tickets start at just $49, and kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Secure your seats now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
You know, many plumbers won't quote prices over the phone and instead charge a service fee for an in-home estimate. Of course, because they know once they're in your home, you're probably not going to send them away. But Roland Reach Plumbing is different. Roland will give you a price quote over the phone, and there's never a trip charge or service fee for an estimate. So if you've got a leak and can't wait a week and don't like paying unnecessary fees, call on Roland Reach Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 29, 1936, the first players were elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, Christy Mathewson, and Walter Johnson.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Hey, are you ready to welcome our new head coach, Leon Cohen, to the bank? Join us this Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Gallagher Club West and be among the first to hear directly from Coach Cohen. Enjoy a live panel with Coach Cohen, appearances from Jaguars legend Tony Vaselli, The Roar, Jackson DeVille, and the D-Line. Tickets are free, but space is limited. Secure your tickets by going to jaguars.com/Coach Cohen today.
Happy New Year, sports fans. Hicken here, and let's keep the skincare talk going while we ring in the new year. We know it's winter, a little cold outside. That sun is still shining, so let's always be reminded to take care of our skin. Beaches Dermatology now has a new location open in Fernandina. So if you live just a little north of Duval, you can now see the pros at Beaches Dermatology without having to make the drive to Jax. Go online to beachesdermatology.com to book your skincare appointment today. That's beachesdermatology.com.
D1 Training East Jacksonville invites you to their mega NFL football camp at the Bowl School February 1st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Ages 7 through 16. Get hands-on coaching from former NFL players at every single station. The coaches lineup put together by Connor and Sam at D1 is proudly sponsored by Tim Tebow. To sign up, call 904-901-6470.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, my takeaway is that, Liam, you're already in my head, bro. You're already in my head. My draft is big man heavy. You came into this presser and said, hey, we're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. offense and defense. We're going to build this thing inside
Big
out.
asses and big thighs.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we need. That's what we need. Absolutely. So, Liam Cohen, I thank you.
Leon's got his eye on the bubble.
I mean, my takeaway is like, you can't go wrong with big men. You can't. You just can't. More times than not, they're going to hit for you. If you do your due diligence and you see these guys and you're there for their workouts and you watch their film, more times than not, these guys are going to hit. You got a much higher hit rate with offensive lineman and defensive lineman than you do with wide receiver, cornerback, quarterback, running back. Just start inside out and then deal with what you got.
Percentages of wide receivers making the Pro Bowl that were drafted in the first round way down. Remember we discussed
it was like 18%, I think.
17.
And the offensive line was almost 30. It was at the top.
Yeah, but it's so funny that we talk about you can't go wrong, get the big men. The college football world just started to run around those slow, big, beefy linemen.
Because you can, though, because they're all not all the college offensive linemen are not athletic. Like in the NFL.
True.
They're all athletic.
They're very true. But it's so funny that like the Nebraskas got passed up, the Whiskies got passed up, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, all of them. And now maybe it's coming back just a little bit with Ohio State doing what they've been able to do. But they went out there and they got speed to go on with that brawn inside. So just following what you guys are saying is that when you're looking at the essence of what it takes for a football team to succeed, and I'll keep banging the drum, the offensive line helps the defense as much as any other position group out there. And your defense needs to be fresh. They need to play as many plays as possible with that rotation in mind where they can get out there with a full head of steam. And the only way they're going to do that is if the offense controls the clock, owns the time of possession. Right. And that's strictly because of the offensive line to give you a chance just to keep drives going and going.
Yeah, because we have those conversations on the sideline. If we got like a 12, 14 play drive and the defense is on the sideline, hey, good job, O-line. Good job, baby. We fresh. We ready to go now. Right. Or you had the conversation.
Oh, you're killing me.
Bro, you're killing us, bro. These 3 and outs are killing us, Big Sirs. Y'all need to drive. So I've been a part of both of those conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean.
Those are not easy conversations to hear, right?
No, one hand washes the other.
Yeah, and it's funny because the running back is not necessarily going to help control the clock without that offensive line. Mm-hmm. That receiver is not going to help control that clock without the quarterback time to deliver the football. The quarterback obviously is not going to enjoy anything without that time to get the ball out without that offensive line. So it all hinges on them. It really does.
The quarterback never hears that, bro. You're killing me.
No, we always get it. No, they don't never. Because you got to understand. You got to understand that that's like the golden goblet. You can't go over there to the quarterback and say stuff like that. That's why we're here.
All right, now listen to the other side of the ball, which was in the Leon Balke mock draft.
Yeah,
it has now officially been named the Leon Balke mock draft.
Balke mock.
Boy, y'all do me like that.
Yeah, but you have Mason Graham number 1.
I have Mason Graham number 1
on your draft board going 5th. So here's Matt Miller, who you will watch him plenty on ESPN and see plenty of his stuff on the ESPN website. He was on Jackson Day talking about that individual.
He's going to be a good NFL player for 10 years. He's someone that can make players around him better. We've seen that at Michigan. So if that's the pick for Jacksonville, I think you get excited about, okay, this is a building block type defensive tackle. He's not Aaron Donald, right? It's not who he is, but he could be a really, really good defensive tackle for a long time.
That's got a little chill.
Yeah.
10-year guy, man.
As much as you guys have been banging the drum for the offensive line, you guys know what I want.
No, either way.
But I want a pocket collapsing juvie. I want the guy that is inside that people fear. I want the two.
They just paid $10 million a year for that guy, though.
No, yeah, sure. And then they kicked him outside, or he kicked himself outside. One of the two. He was never that, though. Let's be real. He was a good player that could get to the passer. Very good player.
Very good player.
But he was
never
a collapse the pocket guy. Is my point.
At times he was with the Niners. Yeah, he was.
I just think I'm looking for a big baby and a big.
You're looking for a big dude.
Big baby and a big hen.
Yeah,
that's what I want. And so, and you guys,
that was kind of special.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was rare.
That was rare. Rare. If you can hit on those two guys, bro, you got your detail. You got your
big baby and a big hen. And you know what happened? Tom Coughlin still right now owns the record as the best head coach this team has had and the best GM this team has had. He went back-to-back years and got those two cats.
Yeah.
Out of Georgia and out of Tennessee.
Smart.
Big and athletic.
I mean,
oh my
could
God.
rush the passer and stop the run.
Camp and Lex talk all the time. Their two D tackles were Leon Lett and Tony Casillas.
Yeah.
Those two guys any good?
Oh my gosh.
Pretty good.
And so when you have those types of guys, and it's so funny because I'm looking to see if I can find this one piece that was put out there about.
And Chad Henning was a backup. Remember Chad Henning?
Yeah.
I mean,
a big
where you
human
win
being.
games. You win games on the defensive line and the offensive line, period.
Okay,
that
so
offensive line they had was just like stupid good.
Mhm.
That's why Emmett led the NFL, or it was the NFL's all-time leading rusher.
Yeah,
Look at the line
yeah.
they had.
Well, I mean, listen, I remember when Ray initially came to the Ravens.
Mhm.
You know, we could run anything sideline to sideline. Ray gonna get it. So we ran at Ray until
they got the Goose in there.
He got Goose and Sam Adams in there.
That's like 690 pounds.
Exactly.
Probably
Them
more
D-
than that. Probably more than
Them
700.
D tackles mattered, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was like 360 and 380, I bet, right?
Bro, you're being kind.
Yeah.
And I hope I have this right, but this is off of the 33rd team, and they were showing the starting defense, and this was from the last Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles to this Super Bowl.
Right.
There hasn't been that much change, but there has. So I'm going to rattle them off. But the Super Bowl they played against the Chiefs 2 years ago, their front line included Josh Sweat, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Linval Joseph, Hassan Reddick, T.J. Edwards, and then the back was Darius Slay, Bradbury, Maddox, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and Marcus Epps. Okay?
Now they got the interior beef.
That was a really right.
Yeah,
that was 100% legit in terms of a really good defense. Now they've got Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Zach Bond, Oren Burks, Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Reed Blankenship. So the new guys.
And had N'Kobe Dean, too, before he got hurt.
Yeah. The only guys that were there then that are still part of the and by the way, they brought C.J. Gardner-Johnson back.
Yeah.
But the only ones that are there that were there before are Slay, Sweat, and C.J. All the rest of them have been renewed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Drafting.
You draft and you develop.
Yeah.
And that is just insane that many guys.
You know,
have
it's also
changed.
it's that Georgia defense is really good.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take some players from there.
Yeah.
Holy
It's
crap.
not
Okay.
rocket science, man.
I'm glad you said that because this one point was made by a texter, and I wish I still had it up here. But he said, "Don't give me that SEC talk. That general manager and this team."
Right, but they took the two guys that weren't the givens.
Exactly.
They took Trayvon Walker and Tyson Campbell, two guys that were not the locks.
Yeah. So just take a look at how many.
Jalen
SEC
Carter, lock.
I know, but just take a look at how many SEC players are on this roster and how many of them aren't doing what they should.
Jordan
be doing.
Davis, lock.
Plus Jalen Carter. I mean, he's got a little nasty to him.
Yeah.
A lot of nasty.
Little, I
to
was
him.
gonna say he got
a lot of nasty. I love it.
nasty.
All right, let's be bold when we're talking about nasty.
Here's a bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery, Duval's first craft brewery. Online at boldcitybrewery.com.
Honestly, I can't.
BTJ's an SEC guy, by the way.
Who?
BTJ.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
yeah.
pretty good.
Oh, yes. Just saying. There's a lot of them that haven't been. Not nearly as
No
good
doubt.
as
No
as
doubt.
you would
But,
like
but again, you got to choose the right ones.
Yeah. Like, because we just went through the other ones that Tyson got him a big old contract. Tank has been okay. DeAndre Prince later in the draft. Josh Hines Allen, good, then maybe not as much as his contract. Anyway, this just fires me up when you take a look and you see how many good players they had and then how many they replaced, and they're still good. All right, bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery. You can find them downtown on Bay Street in Riverside. The production house is right there on Roselle Street. Enjoy some great craft and enjoy all that great menu item, or all the great menu items that they have in the kitchen over there on Roselle. Of the playoff teams that made it to the postseason this year, okay, the 14 teams that made it, if we go back to realignment in 2002 when the AFC South was created and all this stuff, who has the most playoff berths?
that recently made the playoffs this year.
Yeah, of the 14
teams.
Yeah,
14.
And we're going back from realignment 2002 until now. Who has of those teams? Who has the most
of the current teams?
Yeah, who has the most playoff berths? Yeah, because we're going back to the playoff season.
One, right?
Steelers,
the Chiefs,
Steelers or Ravens.
No, he's talking about the 14 that played in this.
Yeah,
Steelers and Ravens.
All right, Steelers and Ravens. That's true.
That's
I think the
one.
Chiefs are going to be high, man.
They're going to be high, but there was some lean years there.
That's true. Not the Bills, right?
No. The Bills had the longest playoff drought in the NFL.
Yeah.
In the 21st century, they had the longest one.
And
I'm going to go with the. I know I said the Steelers first, but I'm going to go with the Ravens.
I got I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Oh, you just want one?
I'm going with the Broncos.
Top team.
Broncos.
Interesting.
I'm going to go Chiefs. I'm going the obvious.
Okay. All right. So this kind of speaks to what we're talking about. Teams that draft well, develop well, have good coaches, have good quarterbacks. They all find a way just to keep trucking. Kansas City is second. Kansas City has 14 playoff berths and 11 division titles. Philadelphia is third. They've got 15 playoff berths and 10 division titles.
Yeah.
All those McNabb years.
Pittsburgh is fourth. 15 playoff berths and 9 division titles.
I was right.
Now, they divvy them up with Baltimore because Baltimore's got 8 division titles and 14 playoff berths since 2002. The number one team with 17 playoff berths, the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, I forgot they even made the playoffs.
I forgot all about them.
Because they were quickly dispatched this year, but they have won a dozen division titles and 17 playoff berths since 2002.
With 3 quarterbacks. That's it.
Yeah. And think of the quarterbacks that they've gone through. And then
17 out of 22 years they've been in the playoffs.
It's insane. We can't even take the opposite of that and say that we've been in the playoffs that many times.
Jags have been in 5 times, right?
Well, since 2002, it's 4.
All right, so then a total of 7?
So you can't even say that the opposite of that. Okay? 4, not 5, 4. 05, 07, 17, and 22. That's it. Anyway.
And we went 4 and 5 years. Just think about that.
And just for the hell of it.
Okay, so it's 4. So it's 8 total then.
No, I'm saying when we started, it went 4 and 5 years, and then we've gone 4 and 25 years.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's what we said. Remember, the playoff berths are disappearing because in the 90s it was 4, in the O's it was 2, in the teens it was 1, and in the 20s right now it's stuck on 1.
It's almost like they got jinxed.
By the time we got him, dog, trying to break through.
It's your fault, man. If you really think about it. They told you not to do it, but you guys did it anyway.
You mean scapegoat? That's all right.
You guys did it
You're
anyway.
like the Steve Vartman.
I always refer to it as the curse of Chili Palmer.
I bet TC sitting at home right now listening to the show going, yeah, I told Leon not to do that.
Yeah, listen, I gave TC 5 good years, all right?
Yeah. And that was all the way back in 99. If you can't figure out this curse, maybe you do need to go get a Billy Goat. All right, speaking of Billy Goats or curses, one of them.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
I would never refer to it as the curse of Carline, the embedded and shredded, because he's not the reason they're not winning. But as we welcome in Hayes Carline.
The black cloud has arrived. Doom is on the radio.
Can you imagine? Think about it, Hayes. 4 playoff bursts in the 90s, 2 in the O's, 1 in the teens, 1 in the 20s. What happens when we get to the decade of the 30s? Is it 0?
Well, no, because now Liam Cohen is here.
Oh, yeah.
Right, Joe.
And
Come
so
on.
the consistent winning
2 Super
has
Bowls
arrived.
at least, right? 2 or 3 Super Bowls, right, Carline?
My prediction is that Liam Cohen will be the all-time organization wins leader by 2029.
As long as he can do what we just mentioned TC did back in the day as the general manager / head coach, he went and got Big Baby and Big Hen in back-to-back drafts. That's what needs to happen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that I heard you guys talking about that, and absolutely. And I think that's exciting. If it's Mason Graham pairing him with Mason Smith, I like Mason Smith. Mm-hmm. You know, it took him some time to get his, kind of feet under him, get his bearings, and to learn what, being a pro is about with his conditioning. But I like Mason Smith. I mean, I think that was a good pick, and I think he's somebody that can be disruptive. You put Mason Graham next to him, And yeah, I think you've really got something. I don't know if it's Henderson Stroud. I mean, that's a high bar.
Yeah.
But if it gives the opponent something to really worry about with the interior, in addition to Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, then you've really got something there up front. So yeah, that would be an exciting pick.
Yeah, pork chop. That's what we want. All right, what's coming up at JU?
We are loaded. Yeah, JU winners of 7 in a row, 7-1 in ASUN play. They're hosting Florida Gulf Coast tonight, who's 6-2. So a huge game at 7 o'clock. So if you're looking for something to do, come out to JU and join us. We're at Cantina Rio. Jordan Mincy is going to join us, the outstanding coach. We'll also have Brett Hastings to talk sports and courts with the Todd Golden being cleared of his accusations. And JU Athletic Director Alex Rickard Gilbert will join us as well to talk about all things Dolphins as well. So it should be a fun Frangie show coming up.
All right, Hayes, we look forward to it, man. Enjoy it over there.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Caroline, Frangie, JJ, they got it ready to go as they tip off from JU a little bit later on tonight.
Florida Gulf Coast, are they still Dunk City? They still call themselves Dunk City?
Yeah, they probably do. UCF still claims the national championship, so they probably still do. Yeah, they probably still ride with that.
By the way, Henderson Stroud,
yeah,
me and Baselli line where they got 100 on them. Just so you listen. If y'all listening, just so you know.
It's so funny. If you think about it, Searcy, Baselli, Smith, McCardell, Big Hen, Big Baby. We need some of those back in the building.
Dave Whitell and
that's
Tilsey
for sure. I'm just talking about the duos, the unbelievable duos. All right, we are done. Golf Club of Southampton. We say thanks to them. Don't forget, check them out with that unbelievable opportunity with the membership, and just go out there and play golf. Call 287-PLAY. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and JJ. You got the Frangie Show from JU coming up.
The O-line hire, that's going to be one of the top hires that we make this year.
This time I got it right, okay?